How's it going, Gemini community? Soul Tigers here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So let's go ahead and get started with the vibe and dishing out these introduction cards. And I quote, Gemini, keep moving. Your mind is a very powerful place. Let's learn how to harness that power in a way that doesn't take from you. One of your greatest assets is your focus. Let's learn how, if we are not careful, we and others can rob this asset from us, leaving us stuck going in circle for days. You've moved mountains and broke cycles. Remember that. Every challenge in your past has helped strengthen you. Now it's time to exercise everything when it comes to dealing with these others. When they mean exercise everything, exercising that inner wisdom, the different philosophies that you have gained from the past to the present when dealing with many different situations in your life. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So we have certain tactics here: being calculated, being calculating when dealing with things. Do not get confused. Call it for what it is I'm hearing to say. If it's a stalemate, it's a stalemate. If you need to make moves to put somebody in check in a sense, then do it, because you are the boss. You are the boss of your progression. You are the boss of the things that you develop. You are the boss of things that you want to explore and bring into fruition. Do not get confused on that. Sometimes you got to make boss moves. What I'm here to say is for yourself. Something that we're not seeing here is threatening. Something is very threatening to you. Could be something that blinds you. Could also be something that creates an uneasiness within you when it comes to dealing with others, trying to relate to others. Maybe also there's somebody here who's trying to do things on the DL, trying to sit here and mess with your success. And they could be doing it in an illegal type of way. This could have to do with business stuff. So sit here and mind your P's, mind your Q's, dot your I's, cross your T's. Be very thorough with what you do. Something else you're not seeing is this drama starter. This drama starter who is obsessed. Obsessed with your energy, obsessed with your success, obsessed with what you're doing. This doesn't have to be a lover per se, but this is somebody who can't focus in on the things that they need to focus on. This could be somebody who likes to poke at you a lot as well, because guess what? They wake up thinking about how I'm going to mess with Gemini. They go to bed thinking about how can I mess with Gemini tomorrow. So be careful, be careful, be careful, because a lot of times people look to rob you of your focus because they know if they can get you to react, if they can throw you off, then they can put you in check. So be very, very, very mindful of the things that are happening around you, especially when it comes to behind the curtain, behind closed doors. Really feel things out with your intuition, with your instincts that I'm hearing to say, because sometimes you don't have to see it to know what's going on. And as I said, that 4 on the time here. And what does that mean is do not worry. What you are working towards will be successful, but you have to keep the faith, and you have to not let this person rob you of your focus. People who are in a negative energy, people who want to poke at you, people who like to be passive aggressive, people who like to say stuff behind the scenes of things, they are threatened, intimidated. They're bothered by your energy and what you do, because they lack being able to harness their focus and throw it towards their goals. Think about many a times when you are focused, when you're focused on your goals, and when you don't give a shit about anybody else. See how you've moved mountains with that focus versus when you overly care about people who are starting shit with you, and how that throws you in confusion, how that throws you into a fog, and how that seems to take your focus away from your goals. And you notice that you start messing up on things. This is why you have to be careful with your focus. The mind is a very, very, very powerful place. But don't forget to reach outside of your mind to also fill things out, especially when it comes to helping shift your focus in the direction that you need it, dear Gemini. And that could be very hard for air signs. I myself and an Aquarius, it's pretty early this morning, as you can tell. So my mind is a very powerful place. I can pick up patterns. I can read between the lines. I can see stuff that's happening in the future to come when it comes to situations. But can I tell the world that? Would the world believe me? No. So I have to learn how to fill things out as well. And one of the things is coming into that acknowledgement just recently when it comes to the power of our focus. Remember, every day is a journey and is another chance for us to learn more about ourselves and to get better at dealing with conflicts, dealing with chaos, also being able to get closer to ourselves, which helps get us closer to that seed that's from the divine, which is from a higher power. So let's go ahead and get started with this present moment. Definitely somebody wants to leave you in an energy of being down, being bothered. They want you to reflect how they feel because they don't want to meet you at an even level. This is something that could be very confusing for you, especially if you're dealing with older people that you expect more maturity from. Maybe this is even younger people that you expect more maturity from as well. It's really hard to find stability. It's really hard to make this investment because it seems like this recurring kind of thing in your community where things aren't working out. And it's hard. It's hard to think of ways. It's hard to feel ways on how to walk away from the drama. Remember, it's hard to find your success at times because they're trying to poke at that success. For some reason, these people, don't get it twisted. Narcissists are very, very smart. People, a sociopath, very, very smart. There's another one, I can't think of a word. They're very smart, and with these type of personalities, they will study you. They will look for your weaknesses. They will even try and open that door to where you try and bond with them, giving them that benefit of the doubt. So you tell them a little bit about yourself, and what they do is they kind of just write that down. They tuck it in their pocket so they can use it later on against you. Remember that, because when it comes to dealing with these people who are trying to leave you stuck in a direction where you can't move, you can't evolve, you can't create the change that needs to happen within yourself because you're too busy feeling like you're not doing things right, and you feel like the world is viewing you with a certain type of harshness. Now with the Scorpio card here, that's eighth house energy, and with this eighth house energy, this is all transformations through relationships. And with your house, that is relating to one's environment. So a lot of times you take into consideration what's happening in your environment, and sometimes that can be very good, but sometimes that can be very bad, especially if you're over analyzing things. Learning how to let go, learning how to redirect your focus is something that we have to learn how to do here. And maybe it's something that's been hard for you, especially since a younger age, because you've always tried to invest in others, making others happy. If you make this person happy, then maybe they'll stop being an ass to you, and maybe they'll see that you're on their team. But it's hard to kind of do that kind of thing, especially if the community is dysfunctional. If that person is trying to build a community that is dysfunctional, keep that in mind. You're trying to invest in somebody who's trying to do things opposite of you. Whereas you're trying to smooth things out, they're trying to wrinkle everything. So keep that in mind. We are going to meet a lot of different oppositions in our lives, and those different oppositions are going to teach us about ourselves, but they're also going to teach us how to stand much stronger in ourselves. But we have to be willing to learn the lessons. We have to be willing not to always feel like we have to be perfect by everybody, but also be perfect by ourselves in order to sit here and not deal with drama. When you got somebody who's in the mind who is not well, and that's what happens with obsession. Think about different things that you get obsessed with. Now, if you could take a step back and look at the stressors at that time, maybe at those times your stress is a little bit higher. So you start to obsess about little things to take a detour from all the stress that's weighing on your shoulders. This person is detouring from self-healing in order to sit here and fulfill their voids by messing with you. Be careful, be careful, be careful, because you know, and I know people personally who don't want to heal, who don't want to take accountability, who don't want to acknowledge things that they need to do to better themselves, because it's easier to mess with others. It's easier when they're having a bad day to try and go and get somebody else to have a bad day with them. That is very true. That is very true in life. And you can't predict every relationship that you're going to have with people, just like you can't control every relationship that you're going to have with people. You're going to have people upset with you even because you have such good relationships with others. It's hard. It is hard to deal with somebody who is intimidated. It's hard to deal with somebody who lacks spiritual, emotional, and mental involvement. It's hard to deal with somebody who is also very jealous. There's something here that you're doing, that you're showing up in such a way that has them feeling less. That's what it is. Because there's something here for them that you are mirroring that is an insecurity for them. That's if you want to cut through the bullshit and get down to the middle of things. That's what it has to do with. It honestly doesn't have to do with you personally. It has everything to do with them. Now, where it has to do with you personally is through your reactions. If you're going to let them rob you of your focus, and if you're going to start to meet them at their level, or if you're going to start to lessen yourself to sit there and make them happy. So let's go ahead and call in our angels of protection. Angels of protection, please help, guide, and keep us safe as we navigate the shadow side for the Gemini community. You know, this is something that really gets you down. You might be a person who just really loves to have harmony in their environment, but for some reason you can't create this harmony with this person. And so maybe you kind of take it out on yourself at times. And you have to understand this person is just full of a lot of childish tricks. As you can see, these cards are coming out every weird which way, flipping, twisting, just doing all kinds of things. And that tells me this person has a lot of tricks up their sleeves. This person is a very negative type of magician. So they like to alchemize things in the opposite way. What you do when it comes to alchemy is you take things such as lead and metaphorically something that weighs you down. And you transform that, you transmute that into the very gold, things that help bring abundance to you. So we have to kind of keep that in mind, that people will do the opposite thing. They will find things of gold and they will try and transmute it to lead, to weigh it down, to disempower it, but also devalue it. And something that I'm hearing to talk about has to do with a certain type of art. And this is Asian art, and it has to do with like, it's not pottery, but it has to do with what the example I'm given is like teacups, tea sets, and stuff like that. And a lot of times when somebody would drop their teacup, tea set, something is getting cracked, instead of throwing it away, what they would do is they would repair it with gold, I believe. And to them, that was a symbol that yes, you can be broken, but you can also put yourself back together with the most abundance of love, the most abundance of time, the most abundance of giving yourself grace, and seeing that even though you're not perfect, you're still beautiful. Some people can't transmute things like that for them, and instead they kind of take it out on their health. They take it out on their relationships around them. They take it out on their environment. So something that we have here at a distance, being irrational, being unforgiving, being erratic, being stuck in only one way of thinking. Now this could be hard because this could go for either one of you. This could also deal with the reactions of things and the reactions that you've had to things in the past, especially when it comes to your stability being knocked off and dealing with things that bring out your shadow side. And that shadow side are your fears. This is something that you try and drown out at times so that you don't have to deal with it. But a part of being the boss is being able to get some new beliefs, transcending this energy and taking yourself to a higher type of level. And you're going to face a lot of different people, a lot of different places that are going to bring out many different fears from your past, because we don't skip lessons in life. We merely can evolve them, or we will revisit them at many different times throughout our life so that we can learn something new, so we can grow more. But we can't grow if we don't learn. And something here when it comes to higher beliefs is you got to give yourself the motivation to do that. Now, what do I mean by that is learning how to work with your focus. And one of the things I'm hearing to say is forgiving. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness is the key. And it's always the key to being set free. A lot of times when we get mad because we got this person who keeps poking the bear, we don't understand why they won't stop poking the bear, and we start to build up resentment for them. That is the time to forgive their actions. That is the time to start to forgive yourself, and that is the time to start to seek out what it is that actually bothers you. Like I told you, this person is not a well-balanced person with this magician in the side position. Do not confuse yourself when it comes to that, especially how people operate in their optimism. Sometimes, like I said, they operate just from the shadow side. through their fears. And a lot of times through their fears is trying to control things, trying to control your reactions, trying to control how you feel. And something here is it makes it hard for you to step out and to create movement. It also makes it hard for you to be very caring to yourself. That means that you take things out on yourself, and that could be something that they're trying to use against you. They could see that you overthink. They could see that you could overanalyze. They could see that once they get you to react, they knock you off. So how can you use this every day that you have to deal with them as a way to practice confronting confliction, confronting chaos type of energy? Something else that we have here is the devil. Attachments to block. Why are we got these attachments to block? Well, let's keep exploring. Because there's something here when it comes to our outlooks of things. Maybe it comes to being hard on ourselves. Maybe we have a past where we're really hard on ourselves. And again, narcissists, people with certain personality types, not just narcissists, other ones out there, will sit here and gather information on you. Does that mean you have to clam up? Does that mean you can't sit here and trying to relate to others? Because that's kind of like what this is feeling like, is sometimes we will over explain trying to relate to somebody. No, honestly, that is the key right there. The things that make you feel unstable are going to be the things that are going to bring stability. What do I mean? Well, if you tell them something and they're using that something against you in a negative way, then that should be your first red flag. Not to share with them, and to kind of be more mindful when it comes to future dealings with them. This goes for businesses, this goes for friendships, this goes for partnerships, whether romantic, non-romantic, professional, within the family. You have people who will use things against you. Even when it comes to family, they'll use your past against you to keep knocking you down. Or they'll try and use something of their past that deals with you against you to keep knocking you down. I actually knew somebody for the longest time who would ask me to do stuff for them, and then later on, a year, months, even 10 years later on, they're still blaming me. Well, because of you, this is why this and this is this way. And it really sat here and it kind of dawned on me, like, this person asked me to do certain things and I did it out of the goodness of my heart. I didn't charge them, and I did it to my best abilities. But over the past 10, 15, almost 20 years, they blame me about it. They blame me because they're not satisfied with the outcomes, and they sit here and say it's my fault, opposed to acknowledging that they had a role to play in it too. So you have to be careful. There are people out there that are like that. A few other things here as it comes to a community. It's hard to have a sit down with them, I feel like. It's hard to really engage in a conversation from step one. And what I mean by step one is them opening the door to have a fair communication with you. Maybe they meet you at the door with already conflict, confrontation, trying to knock you off. It could be a lot of even retaliation. And this is something that they use as a defense mechanism, because they just want you to follow them. They want you to do what they want you to do. In a sense, what I'm seeing is they want you to be their puppet. They don't want you to do better than them. They want to be up here and they want to keep you down there. And this is not a healed person. This is a very person, or this person is very self driven. So if it comes to a community or a leadership type of thing, if you've seen the cartoon that depicts two types of leaderships, when it comes to how leaders lead with management, with your bosses, you have two pictures here. You have one with management just yelling at people to row this boat, and then you have another picture where management is down there rowing the boat with everybody. And this sounds like you have this person here who just wants to sit here and yell at everybody to do what they want them to do, to pick up the slack so that they can do less and everybody has to do more type of energy. That's why reading between the lines, really validating yourself, really going within and seeing where your intentions lie is something that's going to help bring this transformation on for you when it comes to dealing with these type of personalities. So let's go ahead and continue into the conclusion by calling in divine and universal energy. Divine and universal energy. What are the positive messages that you have here for the Gemini community? What I'm hearing is confusion. Confusion. This is what they're using to try and disempower you. So do not stay in the fog of confusion. This is why you need to be able to shift your focus when their tricks are being played. So what is your focus? What are you working on? What are the end goals when it comes to dealing with this conflict and with this chaos? Especially if you have to speak upon it, speak about it, or do something upon it, do something about it type of things. So one of the first things here is keep the faith. Do not lose faith just yet. Do not give up. There's still room for things to evolve. There's still room for things to shift. But you have to keep the faith, and you have to be mindful when it comes to your intuition, when it comes to this lesson, when it comes to the inside of things and how you see things. Because if you clam up, if you block yourself, then you're going to block the clarity. In order to gain clarity, sometimes you have to be patient with things, and you have to be accepting of the conflicts that are coming at you, opposed to trying to people please and avoid them. So what we have here is get some rest. You don't have to always focus on them, focus on their moves. Give yourself permission to be able to put that to rest at times, especially if there's nothing you can do about it. And the thing is you're going to deal with adult children. Some adults act like they're shoe size, and that's about the most maturity that you can get out of them. Sometimes we don't understand how they got to the different positions in life that they have when it comes to the hierarchy of things. That's okay, but just remember to speak in your truth, to hold strong when it comes to communication, confidence in speaking and expressing. Because a lot of times they want to shut things down and they want you to react. Being able to go towards these fears that you have here with this relationship with whoever this is going to be something that is going to be very shifting for you when it comes to relationships around you. There's going to be a lot of change because you're going to see yourself a little bit differently. You're going to feel more stability, more stable, more grounded, and more secure within yourself, which is going to help boost up your energy. Think about when you're stressed, how easier it is to get fatigued. Imagine being able to unfocus from this and being able to harness that energy that overfocuses and being able to put it towards your goals, towards the dreams that you are working towards. What we have here is join in on creating that movement, being the person who can lead the way for others. Remember, you're not just the only one who's a part of this community. A lot of times other people are going to be facing the same thing with this person, because this person is operating out of the shadow side of things. Does this mean that you got to gang up on others? No, this means that you're just going to join in the ultimate goal. What is that ultimate goal? Is being able to get you to the places that you want to be, whether it comes to your career, it comes to your family, it comes to personal goals that you have. And this card that we have right here is religion and spirituality. What do we do when we have this other energy that we're facing? How do we get through that? How do we deal with that? One of the things that I do when I'm cleansing these cards is I ask for the angels of protection to cut out any negativity and ill will and return it to the sender, but in love, light, and compassion. A lot of things that I have to deal with when it comes to communities and people doing things that I do not appreciate. And the fact is that I can't pull that veil back. I can't pull their mask off because they're doing such a good song and dance for everyone else. Is I pray. I pray for the truth. I pray for understanding. I pray for the truth to come out for others, but I also pray for the truth to be revealed to me. And sometimes that's me getting closer to my own inner truth, learning about myself a little bit more, standing stronger in myself. Don't mistake it that the world has something out for you, opposed to it actually being a lesson that gets you closer to yourself, that gets you more empowered, especially when it comes to you communicating with others, opposed to holding yourself back to appease these others. Remember, in order to overcome these mountains that you've overcame and moved, there's a lot of different things that you had to face, a lot of different things that you couldn't predict, a lot of different things where others were doing things behind closed doors, doing things in the dark, doing things that others didn't see. But it was the faith that you had that got you up to this point in time, now in the present. So how can you use your wisdom, your different philosophies that you have learned along your journey to get you unstuck from many different situations that mirrored this situation in a sense? Think about all the things, that chaoses that you had to deal with, where there was drama from somebody who was obsessed because they threatened by your success. They threatened because they don't want to evolve. Think about that. Think about how you surpassed those lessons, how you had to get yourself unstuck and had to take a step back and look at the bigger picture of things when it comes to the stability, when it comes to the foundations, when it comes to what people are doing. Having to unblock yourself many a times and not follow the crowd. Remember, you've dealt with many of things like this before from others. And those times that you've had in the past, you had to keep the faith when it came to other people trying to come at you and not the best way. Why? Because again, They are not healed. They're not growing. They don't want to grow. They would rather take their fears, their anxieties, their insecurities out on others. And it really doesn't have anything to do with you in a sense. It has to do with them. But where it does have to do with you is you being able to balance out things, especially when you feel like there's a lot going on. You being able to still keep the motivation to sit here and make the moves that you need to make, like a boss. And sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, we have to incorporate something else in that. And that is a higher spiritual belief, a higher vibration of energy, especially when it comes to what we're going to focus on, how we're viewing things. You can view this as an issue that has something to do with you, or you can view this as something that you can learn from, that you can gain more confidence when it comes to dealing with different conflicts and different chaoses, something that's going to help empower your social skills, something that's going to help empower you being able to communicate more clearly, especially when they're trying to sit here and incorporate a fear of speaking up for you. Oh, oh, oh. Just remember, some people will act their shoe size opposed to their age. Sometimes we don't understand how they've got the different positions, different titles, different hierarchies that they do have. But at the end of the day, this person provides a lesson that can't be brought in by anything, and I say anything else. This has to be brought in by another human. And in order for us to evolve, in order for us to grow, we have to go through different hardships that we feel like we shouldn't have to deal with. And you know what? That's okay, because it gets us closer to ourselves. All right, Gemini community, this is going to conclude it. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful rest of your day.